Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be joined in just a few moments by Jay Wright, the head coach of the Villanova Wildcats. His news conference will begin right here at 1:45 and last until 2:15. At approximately 2:05, we'll be joined by Villanova student athletes as well, Jalen Brunson and Mikkel Bridges. Student athlete breakouts will occur from 2:20 to 2:40 in the breakout areas. We apologize if you missed Father Rob's wildly attended news conference in Breakout 3 today. Many cameras, lots of tape recorders, many quotes here on Easter Sunday. Father Rob had a great press conference. Sorry if you guys missed it. Double the attendance of the other one from the other day. What's today's date? It's news conference number 106 for the week, guys. Really growing as an artist, Bob. While joining us here in the main interview room, please be sure to silence your cell phone. Please refrain from the use of any flash photography or video recording devices, including handheld cameras, mini cameras, and mobile phones. Please refrain from going live or streaming to any social media source during these news conferences. We have 4 microphone attendants. They've been great all week long and weekend long. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll send one of the microphones in your direction. Please state your name and media outlet before you get to your question. Jay Wright is next, and he'll be joined shortly after he begins by Jalen Brunson and Mikkel Bridges. Once again, then student-athlete breakouts from 2:20 to 2:40. But we're here until our hard out on the satellite time, 1:45 to 2:15. Agent. Doing good? Doing good. Bless you. Coach Wright is on his way. It's like calling shotgun before you see the car. I think we had 27 hands up when Coach Beeline hit the seat an hour ago. We got to everybody, though. That was cool. Bless you. Yeah. We did one in overtime. It was like it was more like soccer. Like we just added a little stoppage time. All right, everybody stretched out, ready to go? You're okay, Coach. Welcome back.
Always good to be here.
Yeah, exactly. He's the alternative.
Exactly.
We're joined now by Villanova head coach Jay Wright. We'll ask Coach to make an opening statement, then we'll get to everybody's questions over the next 30 minutes.
We are thrilled to be here, obviously. Every time you come up here, you just kind of pinch yourself like, we're still here. This is really cool. And now having a chance to play Michigan, Big Ten champions, in the championship game is a thrill. They're a great team. Just like they remind me of John's West Virginia teams. Wagner kind of reminds me of modern day Pittsnogle, thinned down, eating healthier, little more skilled, but just a really well coached, disciplined team that you just expect at this time of the year. That's what you're going to play against, but also from John's team. So we're looking forward to a great challenge.
We'll start in the front on the right, Mike.
I like that everybody laughed at Pittsnogle. That means they're good, big, old Big East fans here. I like that.
Mike Jensen, Philadelphia Inquirer. Jay, how far back, what's your earliest memory of Beeline? Did it predate that?
Yeah. My first coaching job was University of Rochester under Mike Neer in 1984, and John was the head coach at Lemoyne College, which is a Division II school in Syracuse. So he was in Syracuse, I was in Rochester. Division III assistant coach is about as low as you can be in the college basketball business. So John was Division II head coach, and just like he is now, just nicest guy in the world. You know, I was a first-year coach. He was always really friendly. But the recruiting back then was in upstate New York. We would recruit guys all year, and then John would wait till the end of the year because he had the scholarship. We didn't. And if you'd be on a guy and just hope you wouldn't see John in the gym. And like in April, he'd pop in and he'd see you, and you'd say, "Are you going to take him, John?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm sorry, but we're going to take him." And you just, because he was the only Division II team that had a scholarship. Division III guys, they were going to have to pay. But he's always the nicest guy. And, you know, as a young assistant, he's always nice to me. He was young, too. But just, you know, the greatest guy. Then we came into the Big East together, you know, me at Villanova, him at West Virginia. So our wives played tennis together at the Big East. I got a good one. When the Big East broke up and they left, Patty said, "Oh, my God, I'm going to lose my tennis partner. Kathy's leaving." I said, "Hon, we're losing a great coach and a great team. It's a little bigger than that. This is a little scary." But just everything you see in John is what you get. Greatest guy in the world, man. Great coach.
Right side of the room in the front, Aaron.
Aaron Beard with the AP. Jay, there's not many players that can affect the game like Mikhail can as far as not needing 25 shots to make an impact or playing defensively the way he does. What is the best quality that you like about coaching him as far as what he brings to a game, and maybe the biggest thing he's improved on in his leap from last year to this year?
I think you hit on the most important aspect he brings to our team is that in a game like the Kansas game, even when everyone else has got it going offensively and he's a star and a pro prospect, he is proud of the fact that whether Graham got it going, or Newman got it going, we were switching him on to those guys. We put him on the best player, and he's fine with that. He actually enjoys that, And I think the area he's improved on the most is his ability to create his own shot off the dribble. He could always catch and shoot, moved well without the ball, use screens. But now you can put him in isolation, and he can use his dribble to create his own shots.
We're going to go to the center of the room, Dana, or Pat.
Dana O'Neill with The Athletic. Along with McHale, every guy on this roster at some level has had to sit and wait, either by choice or by necessity, with injuries. Jalen behind Ryan. How does that cultivate without issue for you? I mean, because a lot of times that would be instant transfers and an instant mess.
I hope the honesty that we use in recruiting is what enables us to do that without controversy. It's not perfect all the time, but we're honest with guys when they come in. They know the upperclassmen in our program are respected. They know that they're going to have to earn their playing time, and the guys that choose Villanova usually want that. They want the competitiveness to prove themselves. They want to be a part of something bigger than themselves.
We're going to go up front, Adam.
Hey, Jay. How are you?
AZ.
Adam Segori. Has your style of coaching or play this year at all been influenced by the NBA, the Warriors, the Rockets, with all the three-pointers? There's been a lot of talk about that. And do you think Ash Howard is ready to be a head coach? He's been linked to some jobs.
I'll start with Ashley. I think Ashley's definitely ready. He's bright. He's a basketball lifer. He's an outstanding recruiter. He's a very good X and O guy. Great teacher on the court, and a really good man. The kind of person you'd like to have lead your program and be a representative of your university. And then, the NBA influences all of us in college. We all watch the best players, the best coaches, and see what we can learn. And the Golden State Warriors have been using this style for a while now. Mike D'Antoni, before he went to the, even when he's with the Suns, we all watched it. As a matter of fact, Jalen's favorite player is Steve Nash, so, we've talked about that. So they have a great influence on us. All of us, but specifically Villanova.
On the left side, Joe.
Joe Giuliano, Philadelphia Inquirer. Jay, your second Final Four in 3 years, the magnitude of it, all the media and other demands. Over the last two Final Fours, how has your comfort level improved? The magnitude of handling everything, and then coaching your guys to be as successful as they were 2 years ago and thus far this year?
Yeah, are you asking am I comfortable with handling all this stuff, all this media and all this? I hope you're not setting me up here, Joe, because I got to deal with you all the time. Are you telling me I'm not doing as good a job anymore? Is that what you're saying? I don't, there's so much attention, the last few years that the challenge is to not miss out on the time with my family and my players. That it just becomes a challenge. I'm not complaining about it. It's a great spot to be in, but there's so many more demands on your time. You got to make sure it's your job, so you have to do it. And if that's the toughest part of your job, it's pretty good. This is fun, but it's not good if it takes away from your family or your time with your players, because that's really your job, is your time with your team and your coaches. And that is a challenge. It's something that I struggle with. I try to do a good job. That's why I'm sensitive about that question. I don't know if you tell me I'm doing a bad job either side, but it's a difficult challenge.
But the comfort too of coaching your players, the comfort too in coaching your players and making sure they're all ready and at the top of their game when they come out of the tunnel.
With all this, I'm not comfortable. It's a challenge. I want to make sure, like today, we met this morning, watched film this morning, and I had to come over earlier to get here. So I get a little paranoid about that. I want to make sure I do that job better than this job, but I know I have to do a good job at this.
Up front to the right, Hoops.
Jay.
Hoops is in the house.
You're
I'm
getting
so
good
glad
at
I got to
this.
say that again. Thank you for calling on him. Thank you.
Listen, you coached against John and Bobby Huggins in the old Big East. Has John's coaching philosophy changed at all since you last coached against him on a regular basis? And along those lines, has your philosophy changed at all since you coached against those guys in the old Big East?
Yeah, I think we've both changed. And to Adam's question about the NBA, John never ran pick and roll in West Virginia. Never. But they still have a lot of the elements of that old West Virginia offense. But John has really expanded. They were hard to guard back then, but now with the addition of pick and roll and his driving space, they're brutal. They're at a whole nother level now, and we've changed a lot. Just simple things like we would never play zone before. We play zone, and there's a lot of things that have changed. The game changes, your players change, and if you're not improving as a coach, and learning more, then you're not doing your job. So I think both of us have changed a lot.
Center of the room, Nicole.
Nicole Auerbach, The Athletic. Hey,
Yeah,
Jay.
Nicole.
You have a national championship, and John is one of the coach's coach, and everyone respects him. And he says, like you, he doesn't think about winning one and how it's going to change your life or anything. And I've talked to coaches; they don't think that it's not going to change their opinion of him if he has a national championship or not on his resume. And I'm wondering what does change when you do, and what you think of a career like his, like you were talking about, starting at the bottom rungs of coaching and getting to here.
I think what changes is that just people look at you differently after you've won it. Mostly positively, but sometimes if you don't handle it well, they look at you negatively. They just look at you a lot more. You just get a lot more attention. But I don't think that would affect John. I really don't. I know what he enjoys about coaching is what we enjoy about coaching. It's his relationship with his players, his connection to his university. I think that's what he really enjoys. So I don't think it would change him. And I know everybody in our business really respects him. Because when you compete against somebody, you look at, okay, when you play a team like, this guy really does a good job. They're hard to guard. And when we do something, they always adjust. He's respected as one of the best in that area.
On the right side, Coach, just to the left of the aisle.
Jay, David Teal with the Daily Press in Virginia. I was talking with Charlie Willem a few moments ago.
Oh, boy.
And I'm just curious, A, what influence did he have on your career arc, and B, how long did it take you to forgive him for not starting you as a senior?
I answered the second one. I never had to forgive him because I was a handful, and he saved me. And I've had a lot of patience with a lot of crazy players because they don't know it, but I was worse than all of them. And he never says that. I don't know if he told you that, but every time I see him and he's down here with us, I say to him, Coach, I'm grateful that you were patient with me. He's like, oh, you were great. You were great to coach. That was not true. But he's had a lot of influence. He was a very, very creative offensive coach. Back then, we ran a numbered break, a system break that he got from Sonny Allen. Yep, and we shot him up and slept in the streets. His teams were really good, and I learned a lot of that from him. And I always believed. I remember playing for him. You ran a system. You ran to your spots, a little bit like John. And if you had your shot, you take it. You take it. If you were missing them, you kept shooting them. And I just remembered. I always remembered as a player, always having that confidence of that he was allowing us to shoot the ball if it was our shot. That it was something I carried on with our teams. Probably patience with characters, giving shooters confidence, and having respect for guys. I was a captain my junior year and leading scorer, and I didn't start my senior year. So always thinking about those guys that are not playing, because I understand how tough it was on me. Always thinking about how those guys feel, because he was great with me.
On the left side of the room, CL, did you have one?
CL Brown with the Fieldhouse. Jay, I was curious, a lot has been said about kind of these stretch 4 and 5 players. I wanted to get your thoughts on what you guys need to do defending Mo Wagner.
You know, I'll be honest, we're still watching film. I'm not sure I've got the answer yet. We have a little bit of a plan in mind, but just so impressed with, you know, I'll just give you one play. In the Loyola game, he shot faked with his right hand and threw a left-handed bounce pass backdoor for a layup. Who does that? You don't see point guards do that. He's got the ability to beat you in any way. I think he's one of those players that you're not going to shut him down. You just got to hope you can minimize his influence on the game. I think that's what we're going to try to do.
On the right side, Mark.
Coach, Mark Tracy from the New York Times. I was wondering whether or not you have ever directly, kind of crossed paths with Michigan on the recruiting trail over the past few years. And maybe you have, and I'd be curious to hear it. But even without that, do you feel like you are kind of going after a similar profile of player?
Yeah, we definitely are. And we do run into them a lot. And because John has East Coast ties also. But same kind of players, same kind of schools, except for state school, private school, high academic schools. I think both of us are looking for guys that want to be in college, and we both love to have the guys that are pros too, but we want guys that want to be a part of a program. So we do run into them a lot, and they do have a freshman on their team right now that I thought we were going to get, and from Pennsylvania, I'm probably not allowed to say who I really thought we were getting, and John beat us for him, and he's going to be a really good player for them.
Toward the center in the front.
Lindsay Schnell, USA Today. Jay, your counterparts in the women's tournament have to answer this all the time, so I want your thoughts. You guys won handily last night. It evoked a lot of shades of a couple years ago when you blew out Oklahoma. On this stage, in the tournament, in the Final Four, you think it's bad for the men's game if there are blowouts?
Everyone would rather see a close game. I actually thought about that after the game. I come to these games as a fan far more than I do as a coach, and I always want to see a close game. But when you're coaching in it, it's much better this way. I think our game, if you look at this tournament overall, I think our game's strong enough that it can withstand a double-digit victory. It's not going to affect the game at all.
Same area, Bob.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, Bob.
You've got McHale in your huddle for the last time tomorrow night, and it's a sort of a variation of a question you've heard before. But we were talking last night about when teams load their defenses, when they put the names on the board of who we're not going to let kill us. I mean, he's very near the top of the list, obviously. And so a game happens like last night where if you looked at the box score, you can't find the lottery player on the box score. You don't know who it is. And just, again, is that remarkable just to him? Is it just a basketball intelligence that, okay, I'm not going to force myself? I mean, how does that happen, and is it mostly him or mostly you?
No, it's him, and I think sometimes coaches know this, but we don't talk about this a lot, how a star player, when things aren't going well for him, can really negatively affect the team. You don't see it out there, but it could be a bad shot, a couple possessions taken off defensively because he's frustrated that he's not the star. And it happens a lot in our game. McHale is incredible that way, incredible. And I think it's a matter of humility and intelligence. So he's humble enough that he doesn't have to be the star, and I think he's smart enough to know that my presence on the floor and doing the little things is actually helping our team and affecting that opponent more than anyone knows.
We're now joined by student athletes from Villanova, Mikal Bridges and Jalen Brunson. We're taking questions for Jalen, Mikal, or Coach Wright, and the next one comes up front on the right side.
Jared Diamond with the Wall Street Journal. Jay, you've talked about Wagner. You guys also have Spellman. So I'm wondering just how important it is in the modern game to have bigs that could shoot three, and sort of how has that changed over time?
It's invaluable. I mean, it's the toughest thing to guard, and it's being able to shoot the ball, but also, and this is the challenge with Wagner. It's not just being able to shoot the ball, but it's being able to put the ball on the floor and create your own shot. I mean, think about his ability to do that. I've answered so many questions, I can't remember if I said it here already, but you just don't see anybody like that. We haven't played against anybody like that. That their five-man can shoot threes, but then he can put it on the floor, get to the basket, right hand, left hand, finish. And if you double him or help, he's going to find the open man. There aren't a lot of guys that can do that, but if you look at what Draymond Green does for, the body types are different, but the game is the same, for the Warriors. It's a really valuable weapon to have.
That same area.
Jay Ed Graney from the Review Journal. Many of the three-point records you broke last night were Jerry's teams before you spent the year there in Vegas with Rowley. When you think back to his teams, is the influence there at all
Jerry
for you there?
Tarkanian's team had the three-point records?
Yeah, some of them. You broke several last night, but
Really?
a few of them, that was his teams.
I didn't know that.
Is it more NBA, or when you were there for the one season with Rowley, did you look at those teams that Jerry had, and what influence at all as you went forward did those teams you think have on college basketball?
That really surprised me because a lot of the things that we still do defensively, we picked up watching Gergovich and Jerry's teams defensively. So I wouldn't have thought about that as threes. The 3 points more NBA. Mike D'Antoni from those old Suns days, and then everyone else is. We all, as I said, we all watched the NBA. Then how everyone else picked parts of that, the Warriors, and that's probably where more of that influence came.
Continuing with questions for Coach Wright or the student athletes, let's go to the center of the room. Pat.
Jay, Pat Forty from Yahoo Sports. Wondering, when you started at Hofstra, you had 3 straight losing seasons. Was there ever any concern that maybe this head coaching thing wasn't going to work out for you?
He laughs at me. He laughs when you say that. It wasn't funny back then, man. It was not funny. Yeah, definitely, Pat. Definitely. It's a great story. In our 4th year, we did a home visit with a kid in Queens. Tom Pecor was my assistant. And the mother, at the end of the home visit, I thought I put on a great show. And I said, do you have any questions for me? And she said, yeah, the previous coach, I won't say the school, was just in here and said that you guys are getting fired at the end of this year. And I said, no, we're great. We're good. So I came out of the home visit. I said to Tom Pecor, I said, could you believe someone would say that? How could another coach say that? He said, Jay, we've lost for 3 straight years. We might get fired. I thought we were doing fine. I was enjoying myself. But at that point in my 4th year, I started thinking this could be it. I really did. It was. I would be lying to you if I didn't say that I was talking to my wife about plans about what else we would do.
We need a question for Jalen or Mikhail. If you can please raise your hand with a question for Jalen or Mikhail. Let's go to Mark on the right side.
Mark Herman from Newsday. Jalen, how do you shoot so well in this environment? You can't practice for shooting in a dome. How do you shoot so well in this?
It just comes to our confidence we have in each other and ourselves, our work ethic. We trying to think about where we are, trying to think about anything else besides what's happening inside those lines. We're just confident in each other, and I think that's what makes us pretty good, is us being together on both ends of the floor. And when we're making shots, obviously, it's a plus. But when we're together on defense, that's really helping us, get these leads and helping us, be successful in these games. But when we make shots, it's obviously very fortunate.
How do you adjust to the background?
Don't even worry about it. We really just try to focus on inside those lines. It's easier said than done. But when you're just focusing on your team and how you're trying to be the best team you can be out there, it's pretty simple.
We're going to go all the way to the left and up front. Vahe.
Okay. Hey, Jay, to your left. Vahe Gregorian, Kansas City Star. I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't follow up on Pat's question. What were you considering during the time you thought maybe you weren't going to be able to continue coaching? Was that a pretty active discussion?
You know what? I was probably thinking about getting an assistant coach's job in the NBA, getting into sales. That's what I was thinking about. We were probably discussing, do we stay in New York or do we go back to Philly? It was year 4, man. It was it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty at that point.
Let's go to the center of the room.
Deshaun Tate, Sports Radio 92.9, The Game in Atlanta. Coach, with so many programs going the one-and-done route, if you will, can you elaborate how it's benefited you probably the most to have the experienced upperclassmen, and have you ever, what has it been that has made you kind of stick to that working for you?
Well, the reason we stick to it is we can't get the one-and-done guys. We're trying. We really are. As a matter of fact, Jay, when Jay came out, he had just won the MVP of the 19 and under FIBA World Championships, and people were saying he's one and done. Other people were, and he just said, "I want to get my degree. I want to get my degree. I want to be in college." So we recruit guys that want to be in college, and we want them to enjoy the college experience, and then we hope that after 1 year of enjoying the college experience, they have a really difficult decision to make, that the NBA wants you, but you really enjoy college, rather than come to college saying, I want to get out as soon as I can. So, Josh Hart could have left early last year. Kyle Lowry played 2 years. So we've had some, but we want guys that just want to be in college and want to be pros. So that's kind of why we really haven't gotten those guys.
Let's go back to the third row center. Questions for the student athletes.
Lindsay Schnell from USA Today. Jalen, Steve Nash is your favorite player. I think everyone knows that. And he was here last night. Oh, so I was going to ask if you talked to him or if he's being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So he was part of a halftime presentation last night. I wondered if you had talked to him or ever talked to him. I'm guessing no, though.
I didn't talk to him last night. I actually met him a while ago when I was younger. And, just one of the experiences I had with my dad. Yeah, he's a role model for me, and he's been one of my favorite players ever since I was a little kid.
Did he give you any advice? How old were you when you met him?
I was really young. I want to say around 9, 10 years old. I don't really remember any advice. I just remember just being in awe, and so I just remember just being able to watch him as a player. It was really cool. I had that experience.
Bob, did you have a question for Mikal?
I actually did, thank you.
Excellent.
Mikal, Bob Ford from the Inquirer in Philly. I'm sure it's not a surprise to you sometimes when you come out and the game starts and you find the opposing defense is loading towards you, and so you're very good at being unselfish and getting everybody involved. Do you view that sort of respect as much of a compliment as if you were filling every line of the stat sheet?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Just, love being unselfish, because I play with 4 other guys on the court who's also unselfish, and it just makes it easier for, everybody to be aggressive, because it just makes everybody come out and, play with confidence. So not just one person is going there trying to get numbers or anything like that. We just love playing with each other, playing off each other, trying to find each other, and just keep the ball moving.
Up front to the left. Last question for the student athletes, right, John?
Yes. John Fanta, Big East Digital. Jalen, you said it last night after the win that if you weren't making shots, if they weren't falling as much, that you felt like you still could have found a way by getting stops. How do you get so comfortable being able to win in a variety of ways?
I think it starts with our preparation. We try to prepare ourselves for the most difficult situations. We try and do that in practice, and when there's games, when it comes to it happening in game time, I feel like as a team, we're ready. And, it's just us really sticking together through tough times and even good times. We're not too high, we're not too low. We're just really trying to stick together through it all. And I think it's the perfect word for that is just attitude, and it's something that we believe is our motto, and it's it's been a staple in coaches' program, and it's just something that we truly believe that it defines us. And so in all aspects of our game and all aspects of our life.
We want to thank Mikkel and Jalen for joining us here in the main interview room. They're going to head to the breakout sessions right now with some of their teammates and have availability there. We have a few minutes for Coach Wright for a few more questions. We have several that are already on the board, so let's go with first, just to the right of the aisle.
Mike Sealski from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Jay, if you could take us through how Eric ended up at Nova, and specifically, at what point did you go from my good friend is losing his job to I'm getting his best player?
Well, we started recruiting Eric when he was in high school, and Tom Pecora at Fordham, we were kind of looking at him, trying to evaluate him, and Tom Pecora got in really hard with him and got a commitment. And we were, it was one of those things like we were thinking, if we could really put a push here, we might get him from Fordham. But we thought, you know what, it's Tom's knows he wants him and he's getting him and he loves Tom. So we kind of backed off. I'm not saying we would have got him, but it was a weird situation. And we thought we maybe didn't make a good enough decision early enough. And then when Tom got fired, I think Tom said Eric wanted me to call you, and he said, I just want you to know I'm good with it, and he's a great kid, right? So we didn't get to know him that well, but I watched him play for Tom, and I talked to Tom about him. He told me how great he was. And then we got the release, and then we recruited him, and he visited Florida, and he visited us, and he's a family. He's got a great mom and dad, sisters. They still have family Sunday dinner. He still goes back up there. So after the Florida visit, he's just like, I don't want to be that far anyway, so I want to come to Villanova and be a part of a family.
We're going to try to get two more in before Coach goes to his Westwood One interview next. On the left.
Mike Keeley from the Villanovan. Could you just speak to how your walk-ons and non-rotation players have impacted your success over the past few years and this year?
I'll be glad to. Our walk-ons are a big part of our program. We have a saying that everyone's role is different, but everyone's status is the same. Those guys get treated just like everybody else, and they are just as important. They prepare us, scouting reports, practice drills, scout team, individual workouts with our guys. They work with our guys. When guys are redshirted, they practice extra with the guys that are sitting out. They're great students. They represent our team on campus in the community. They're amazing guys. It's not an easy thing to do. You start as a practice player, so you're really not traveling with the team. Then you have to earn your spot as a walk-on. Tremendous young men, big parts of our program.
Toward the right side, Howie.
Howie Casoy, New York Post. Jay, you were saying last night that you don't dream about this because who thinks of going 2 times in 3 years? So few teams have ever done that. I'm curious how you look at this achievement just because it's such a different group, even though they share a lot of the same characteristics. The guys who were here 2 years ago are playing much different roles than they were then. So I'm just curious how you look at how that is doing with 2 different cores.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, if you would have asked me at the beginning of the season to now, I'm surprised. But as we just kept getting better and better each week, during the season, you're just looking at the next game, So you see how you played against Kansas, and then you go back and watch film, and you say, okay, what can we do better against Michigan? Do we have a shot? We got a shot. So that's just the way you look at it during a basketball season. At the end of the year, you'll look back, and sometimes you're on a bus riding over and you look at the assistant, you're just going like, can you believe this? Like, can you believe we're here? That's just the way we do it. I don't, and I really haven't got my mind around the whole thing yet. I want to really keep my focus on just continuing to prepare for Michigan. We enjoy being in the film session with the guys, talking to the guys about, how we're going to try to guard Wagner, letting the guys make some comments about that and seeing how focused everybody is and seeing how the managers put tape on the carpet to make a full court in a hotel room so you can walk, just being into all that. And then I think I'll try to get some type of understanding of what's going on here the last 3 years after it's over.
We want to thank Coach Wright for joining us here in the
Thanks,
main
buddy.
interview room.
Thanks,
Good
guys.
luck, Coach. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Thank you.
It's all about that.